Last night in Vegas, LaVar and LaMelo Ball's Big Baller AAU squad took on a team led by Zion Williamson, who is one of the top-ranked players in the class of 2018. A massive crowd showed up for the game, leading security to turn people away, including LeBron James. Kansas coach Bill Self was there and said, "I've never seen anything like it." Eddie House is back with us. Eddie, your son plays AAU basketball, so you go to a lot of games. How do you explain this phenomenon?
Well, LaVar has a little something to do with it. His son, a lot of people, and it's really the parents, they come to see him fail. They want to, they're hating on him. They want to see him not do well. And then when you get a guy like Zion Williamson, who is a top prospect, mix that in with the haters, and then some people that do really like what LaMelo does, how he can play, you're going to have an explosion of fans coming in wanting to see what's going on. But I'm not going to totally give them all the credit. The other thing about AAU is a money grabber. I started 25 years ago with AAU. Chris Rivers, the guy that's running this tournament, he was the guy that brought me out to Vegas, and it was nowhere near this. It was not as publicized, but I love the format that they give these kids. They give these kids the opportunity to be seen by all these college coaches in one gym. So it's not like a college has to go to this city, that city, that city. They all bring the top guys there. I like that format. The one thing I don't like about it is the money aspect and how they're making money off these kids. And it's kind of saddening, because what it does is it has these kids playing games from May to July. They could play a possible 60 games. And that's just too many games.
That's incredible.
That's ridiculous. They play 5. My son played 10 games in 8 days over the last 2 weeks. And that's just too much. It's wear and tear. And I think that's why you start to see these injuries with these young guys coming in. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Kyrie came in. Look at Derrick Rose. I'm a real good friend with an NBA trainer. And he told me that when they get some of these guys in, they're young, 19, 20 years old. He said they look at their bodies through the MRIs and all this, everything that they do. And they say these guys look like they played 5 years in the NBA already. And they call that the AAU body. And I think that's where they do a disservice for these kids. I don't think there should be so many of these tournaments, but the money's so good that they can't turn it down.
Right.
But that's at the detriment of these kids. And I think that's the bad part of it. But I love the way that they
Who's making the money?
The people that's running these tournaments. I mean, you got to pay. You got parking to pay for. Concessions they getting, the tickets they're getting, and then the teams pay to get in. You know, you can have they start at 8U, so you go 8U all the way to 17U, and they can have 10 teams in each division. Each team paying $400, and they can have a gold division. They could go gold. They could go platinum, gold, and silver division. So you got to do the math. That's a lot of money that could be generated. And that's at the expense of these kids. That's the only thing I don't like about it. It's become a money grabber in that sense. But the format that the format that they have to give these kids an opportunity to be seen, that's what I do like about it.
Okay, but if you put these games on TV, I must admit, I would watch them.
Yeah.
I would.
Depending on who's playing.
Well, but if you put the top prospects in, Zion or LaMelo or that Bagley kid from Phoenix, Marvin, he's the top prospect in this class.
Yeah.
I would watch.
Yeah, but you have this is a perfect storm, because you got the two top prospects, LaMelo and Zion Williamson. You got the LaVar aspect, and then you got the social media aspect. And Skip, it was like, if you remember LeBron's senior year, ESPN carried almost all of his games.
They did. I saw him play a lot in high school.
Exactly.
They did.
And it was like, could you imagine when LeBron played Carmelo, Oak Hill? Now imagine if social media was what it is back then, what it is now. You would have the same phenomenon, because LeBron was it. He was the chosen one, and everybody wanted to see him play. And you're getting a situation, Skip, because 5 years, 10 years down the line, if these guys are in the NBA and they're playing well, guess what they say? I saw him play in high school. I saw him play. I saw Zion Williams dunk on LaMelo. I saw LaMelo hit a 3 from half court. And you get the buzz. Everybody say they saw Babe Ruth call his shot. Skip, there was like 25 people in the stands, now 50 people saw it. That's what you're going to get with this. Everybody's going to say they were at this game. Now, we know the game was jam-packed. LeBron didn't even depart his vehicle because it was so crowded, the security was... Dangerous. And the fire marshal said, look, ain't nobody else.
Yep.
So you had the perfect storm, and I agree with you, Eddie. A lot of people root against Lonzo, Melo, and the middle boy that's at UCLA they root against them because they dislike the dad. So they want to see the kids fail so it'll shut the dad up. And that's a terrible way to be. Because it doesn't bother me. Now, yeah, he said some outlandish thing, talk about he and his son could beat Michael Jordan and LeBron James on a 2-on-2. You and I both know. He ain't beat no...
PR.
Exactly. Hey, that's
great
free
marketing, yeah.
Because we talking about it.
Yeah.
But Skip, this was a perfect storm. And I've never seen anything like this. But when you got two top prospects and you got the social media aspect and you got a dad that's saying something, he probably said, I got a bear in my backyard in Chino Hills. I bring him out and we can beat Steph Curry and Kyrie one-on-one. So I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to what he's saying now. But Skip, this is unbelievable.
I'm going to give LaVar even more credit than you guys did for what just happened. LaVar is speaking this into existence night after night after night. And he's fortunate because his number one son has backed him up. His number one son is about as far from LaVar's personality as you can get. But his number one son can play. And in the summer league, he was merely the MVP, got off to a rocky start, but then it's triple-double, triple-double. And all of a sudden people are saying, wow, maybe LaVar's right. And LaVar has been right about the number one son again and again. I don't know if he's going to be right about the next two, although I love watching the youngest one play. Yeah. Even though he's got no rules and the greenest light you'll ever see. And it offends my sort of sensibilities because he's putting up from half court, like with no conscience whatsoever because his dad's his coach.
And sometimes not getting back.
Not getting back.
Oh, he's a turnstile.
Just staying at half court.
He just let guys just go in and out. Guys just go around.
He got a great feel for the game, though.
He is gifted, man.
Yeah, he has a great feel for the game.
This is before your time, but this is Pete Maravich.
Yes.
I'm seeing Pete Maravich, all the hands and the touch and the distance shooting. It's just like, okay, so I want to watch, but I want to mostly watch because LaVar keeps pushing farther and farther with the Jordan LeBron thing, and then I'm the greatest coach ever. And you can see he's grinning like he's fighting a grin when he's telling the camera because he knows he's just putting on and putting on and putting on, and people are eating it up and eating it up and eating it up because they're all talking about, did you hear what LaVar said? And Twitter just goes crazy. He trends every time he opens his mouth, and it's working. It's working. Like he's become a household name, and the biggest star in AAU is now LaVar. You know, like he's the coach.
He was on wrestling. He was on WWE.
He was.
Come on, man. You know what he on, man.
But Skip, you said it best. You can speak whatever you want to existence, but these kids have to play.
They have to back it up.
So Lonzo and Melo, they're doing their part.
They do. And he keeps saying the middle kid's going to surprise you.
Jello?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he definitely created a scene. Damian Lillard was there, Andrew Wiggins. I mean, they're probably there for Adidas, but Lonzo's also there. And the live stream, speaking of watching it on TV, drew over 800,000 viewers.
Wow. I didn't even know it was live. I would have watched.
There's something on there. Yeah. Well,
they're live streaming all week.
Yep, they play again. They play again today, 5:40 p.m. Eastern.
They can't play.
Yep.
They can't put LaVar on national TV, Skip.
Yeah. On schedule.
Eddie, thanks for joining us. Is Shannon going to change his Ravens Super Bowl pick?